Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Sister Sister, a podcast for spiritual baddies. We are your hosts, El and Amaya, and today's episode is going to be about the Chinese Zodiac. And before we get right into it, this episode was inspired by a recent conversation on social media regarding the Chinese Zodiac and some common misconceptions believed by Western civilization, aka US and Europe and everyone there. We want to preface this episode by saying we are experts by no means and are discussing this topic through extensive research based on what we can find that were reputable sources because remember, we are journalists first. That is our background, and we always make sure we're doing our due diligence there. So we compiled this data through a multitude of sites, including world-renowned database Britannica. We will tie in some personal anecdotes. Specifically for me, I do have two Chinese American best friends who did share with me their takes on this. But either way, we want to make sure you always do your own research. We will include, as always, links in our description to make sure you guys can read up on everything that we learned. But we definitely always encourage you to do your own research and review sources with a critical lens. So now that that's disclaimers out the way, let's get right into it.
Oh, also, I think that we should start this by saying that Amaya and I were both born during the year of the dragon.
Yes, the year of the dragon. And as you will learn, just because you were born a certain year doesn't mean that is your lucky year. So, yeah,
But we
that's,
thought we would give that little bit of a, I don't know. That's our year, just so you guys know.
yeah, just so
Now
you
you know.
guys.
Okay, so the Chinese Zodiac is an annual classification system in Chinese culture following the Chinese lunar calendar, Yin Yang Li, which is literally heaven earth, in which each year in a 12-year cycle is assigned an animal, and each animal is associated with a personality that typifies the year and those born during that year. The cycle changes to a new animal each year at the Chinese New Year, which falls between January 21st and February 20th on the Gregorian calendar, and the order of animals restarts after going through the cycle of 12 animals. Unlike the Western zodiac system, which is based on months named for constellations, the Chinese zodiac changes its animal sign with each year. In terms of predicting human outcomes, the emphasis is on one's birth year rather than month, which is why Amaya and I are both Year of the Dragon because we both were born in the same year. In Chinese, the zodiac system is called Shang Zhao or Shu Zhang. Shang means birth year, and Zhao means likeness. Shu means the 12 earthly branches, and Zhang means animal symbolism. The 12 earthly branches are a Chinese system of organizing years and hours in sets of 12, to which the representative animals were later added. A legendary race between animals is said to have founded the Chinese zodiac. The astrological system is still prominent in Chinese culture and is especially celebrated annually around the Chinese New Year.
So, let's talk about the history and the legend of the Chinese Zodiac. The story is unclear, but there is one underlying theme that kind of connects all of the variations. According to the legend, the zodiac originated from a mythical animal race organized either the Buddha or the Jade Emperor, a godlike figure in Chinese folklore. In one popular telling, the Jade Emperor sought to create a zodiac system and invited all the animals to compete for a place. Their order was determined by how they crossed the river or arrived at his court, forming a 12-year cycle beginning with the rat and ending with the pig. Different variations of the story emphasize each animal's traits and explains its position. Another version of replaces the race with the banquet held by the Buddha before leaving Earth. In this telling, the order in which the animals arrived determined their place in the zodiac. Despite these variations, the sequence of animals remained consistent. A well-known account describes how the clever rat won by riding the ox's back and leaping ahead at the finish. The ox placed second, followed by the tiger, rabbit, and dragon. And though capable of flying, the dragon is sometimes said to have paused to help villagers, explaining its later finish. Next came the snake and the horse, with stories differing on how the snake gained its advantage, either by startling the horse or secretly clinging to it before slipping ahead. The sheep, monkey, and rooster worked together to cross the river, while the dog arrived near the end after lingering in the water. The pig finished last, having stopped to eat and rest. Thus, the order is rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig.
So now we will talk about the personalities, meanings, and other variations. How do Chinese astrologers know each zodiac's personality, fortune, and compatibility with others? Earthly branches were the original terms used for years. These branches are also assigned to the hours of the day based on solar time. The animals were later added as demonics and categorized as either yin or yang. As mentioned before, the earthly branches were also assigned to the hours of the day. The animals, depending on what they did, became associated with certain times of day. This is another explanation for the ordering of the animals. The characteristics of each animal are said to correspond to traits of those born in each sign's year, influencing such things as personalities, relationships, and careers. Certain signs are said to be more compatible with others or more fit for certain careers. In conjunction with other methods of astrological prediction in China, the Chinese zodiac was once assumed to indicate the nature of coming harvest and political futures, which, to be honest with you, a lot of people used astrology in many different cultures throughout the world to predict harvest, as well as a lot of different things in history. So it's nice to see that each system kind of reflects that across the board. It's just another way of explaining it. In addition to the cycle of animals, there is also corresponding system of elements. Ancient Chinese cosmology developed the concept of Wujing, the five basic elements of earth, wood, metal, fire, and water. These elements underlie the universe and their cycles explain change in the cosmos. This cycle of elements intersects with the cycle of the 12 zodiac signs, thus yielding specific combinations such as wood snake or metal monkey, and allowing the further predictive specificity for astrological calculations. The animals and elements are on a 60-year cycle, meaning that various combinations like fire horse only occur once every 60 years. Each animal and element is linked to specific traits and qualities. While the year of the horse comes every 12 years, just looking at the horse itself will not give the full picture of one's personality or qualities of the year, as each horse year will be different in nature according to the element that accompanies the year. The Chinese zodiac system is also believed to indicate when people need to take extra precautions. The return after 12 years of people's birth year sign is thought to be unlucky. So rather than a cause for celebration, people are extra cautious when their birth year sign cycles around again. Additionally, each year in a 60-year cycle is guarded by a different celestial deity or Tai Su. People during the sign of their birth year are believed to be in a state of fan tai su, which means clashing with the tai su. All hope is not lost, however, since people may perform certain rituals or take tals certain talismanic precautions to try to curb any bad luck, including praying to and worshiping the Tai Su, wearing red and wearing an amulet with a winged lion known as a Pixu. Asian countries neighboring China have adopted the Chinese mythology of the zodiac. The Chinese model is known in North Korea and South Korea, Cambodia, and Singapore. Sometimes variations of the list of animals occurred in the process of translation from China to other regions. For example, in some parts of Thailand, the pig was replaced with an elephant. In Thailand, a naga, a mythical humanoid and serpentine being, replaced the dragon. In Japan, a pig was replaced with a boar, and the system moved to a solar rather than a lunar calendar. In Vietnam, the sheep, ox, and rabbit are replaced by the goat, buffalo, and cat, respectively.
Now, to understand the Chinese zodiac. According to Vicky Iskandar, a Chinese astrology and feng shui expert who wrote the Chinese Five Elements Oracle, the 12 animal signs did not originate with the zodiac. The characters have been around for more than 3,500 years as part of the Xia calendar created during the Xia dynasty, circa 2070 to 1600 BC. In her book, she writes, the five elements themselves are even older in origin, with the Yellow Emperor Huang Di credited as the creator of the five element theory around 2697 BC, Iskandar says. The animals first appeared as part of the Chinese zodiac during the Han Dynasty in 206 BC to AD 220, making it easier for the public to learn the system and keep track of time. Iskandar notes, the introduction of the 12 animal signs popularized Chinese astrology, she explains, and they remained a significant part of Chinese culture today, despite the Chinese government officially adopting the Gregorian calendar in 1912. As with all folklore, proving its accuracy is challenging. However, the Chinese zodiac originated, it became an influential tool for many.
I also just wanted to note that, while they have switched over to the Gregorian calendar, I do get all of my beads for like bracelets and stuff from China still because they have the cheapest ones and it's all authentic there. They just have the biggest processing facilities for crystal beads. And there's a 2 week period during the Lunar New Year that everything is just shut down. Like all shipping out of all ports, everything shut down. No one goes to work, forget about it. You're not hearing from any of them, which I love that for them because, they deserve it. But it's just you don't see that in a lot of parts of the world even where that much time is taken off for any holiday really, let alone 2 full weeks where just no one does aside from essential workers at hospitals and things. Anything that's not considered essential is just shut down, forget about it. You're not gonna see any packages coming out of China for a whole 2 week period. So if you ever have a package delayed during that time, now you know why. So, the cultural significance of the Chinese zodiac. The Chinese zodiac holds a profound cultural significance in Chinese society and beyond, permeating various aspects of daily life, including personal identity, relationships, and even business decisions. Role in Chinese culture and society. The Chinese zodiac occupies a central place in Chinese culture and society, shaping individuals' perceptions of themselves and others from a young age. Children grow up learning about their zodiac sign, often identifying strongly with its associated traits and characteristics. The zodiac also plays a significant role in family dynamics, as parents may consult astrologers or matchmakers to ensure compatibility between their children based on their zodiac signs. Moreover, the Chinese zodiac is deeply embedded in various cultural practices and traditions, including the Lunar New Year celebrations, weddings, and funerals. Each zodiac sign is associated with specific customs, rituals, and superstitions, reflecting the enduring influence of astrological beliefs on Chinese culture and society. So then we have the adaptation into Western cultures. In recent years, the Chinese zodiac has gained popularity and recognition in Western cultures, where it is celebrated as a symbol of exoticism and mystique. Western adaptations of the Chinese zodiac often focus on its entertainment value, offering horoscopes, personality quizzes, and merchandise based on the 12 animal signs. Moreover, the Chinese zodiac has found its way into various aspects of Western popular culture, including literature, film, and fashion. References of the zodiac signs frequently appear in media and advertising, capitalizing on its allure and appeal to a global audience. Then we have the business and marketing. So the Chinese zodiac also influences business and marketing strategies, particularly in industries catering to Asian markets or consumers. Companies may incorporate zodiac-themed products, promotions, and advertisements to appeal to customers' cultural sensibilities and beliefs. Moreover, the Chinese zodiac is often consulted in business negotiations, mergers, and acquisitions with individuals seeking to leverage their astrological compatibility for strategic advantage. Fortune tellers and feng shui practitioners may also be consulted to ensure auspicious outcomes and prosperity in business ventures. The Chinese zodiac holds deep cultural significance in Chinese society, permeating various aspects of daily life, including personal identity, relationships, and celebrations. Its influence extends beyond China's borders, with diaspora communities around the world celebrating Lunar New Year and consulting astrologers for guidance and predictions. In contrast, the Western zodiac has gained popularity and acceptance in many parts of the world, particularly in Western cultures where it is celebrated as a symbol of self-expression and individuality. While its cultural significance may not be as deeply ingrained as that of the Chinese zodiac, it nonetheless shapes people's perceptions and beliefs about themselves and others.
So that was part of a research paper done by an individual on medium.com, and we can link that. I think that plays a role into this next part that we're going to talk about, which is mainly just our thoughts about all of this. So, this idea for this episode stemmed from a video that I saw on TikTok in February, which was around the time the zodiac conversation came to be because of the Lunar New Year. And I have two Chinese American best friends that I've mentioned from high school that have their own thoughts about how people view Chinese culture and people in Western civilization. So the video in question, which we'll link in bio, just because we can't include the full video without being copyrighted. Basically, talks about this girl who is a Chinese American individual feels that we are appropriating her culture by, modernizing what the Chinese zodiac is. And she goes on to say that it's not supposed to be like celebrated. Basically, she explains that it's not something to be like celebrated. The Chinese zodiac is actually much deeper than what people make it out to be, and how her parents spend thousands of dollars during her zodiac year to make sure she's well protected. And so, my one friend had said that she personally loves that people are enthusiastic about Chinese culture because overall, the attitude towards Chinese individuals, Chinese Americans, Chinese people in China is pretty volatile. And with the current political landscape, it's so much worse. And she personally feels that this individual was pushing for gatekeeping the culture because she seems American, and her family, specifically my friend, said that she loves and her family loves when people are interested in Chinese culture and celebrate. And she's invited us to celebrate Chinese, like Lunar New Year before. So um, I got an invite this year, but it just happened to be around the same time as my birthday. So I just couldn't do it all. But I've been a part of the celebrations, and honestly, it's just really nice. So that's my personal take on it. I definitely think that yes, it's really interesting, but also you need to do your research, and obviously don't just believe what social media tells you, because it's so fun to be the year of the horse or the year of the dragon or whatever.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely like interesting to see different people's perspectives because I feel like even with, the language barrier that exists between me and my bracelet wholesaler that is in China, we always like wish each other like happy holidays whenever like a holiday is coming up. So like she specifically knows that like I'm in the States and like we celebrate Thanksgiving and my family celebrates Christmas, whatnot. So she will always send me a message on like the way that I contact her and be like, hey, like hoping you guys have a great holiday and your family has many blessings. And like I will return the same whenever I know that they have a festival going on, whether it's the Lunar New Year and then they have some other smaller festivals that like they close down for like the weekend for where they don't send anything out. So I think that specifically for me, I have a very interesting perspective because I speak to people who, while they may not fully understand everything, and there's a lot of Google translating back and forth, there is still a sense of respect for each other's cultures and being able to like wish one another well no matter what. And I think that a lot of times it's just there's a lot of stigma. And I think, what your friend said about the girl in the video almost seemed like she was gatekeeping. I think that maybe it was more so that she just felt uncomfortable that people were like being uneducated about it and not willing to like actually put in the time and energy to learn about it, which is why I'm really glad we did this episode because there is a lot of cultural significance, as there is with pretty much anything that comes from any culture, literally anywhere in the world. Whether it is any type of astrology, any sort of cultural norm, a way of dress, you can do hours and hours of research about literally any country and go back into ancient civilization, whereas a lot of it comes from. So I think that it's important to one, educate yourself first and foremost, but two, also, talk to people who celebrate these things and try and surround yourself with people from different backgrounds to get their perspective on it and be like, yeah, like, I was doing some reading on the Chinese Zodiac and I am really interested in like the original like folk tales that went along with like how it came to be. Which one like did you grow up hearing? Like it gives you a point of, I guess, conversation in spaces that normally you wouldn't have conversation in if you just open yourself up a little bit more to the world and like actually try to learn about it instead of just being like, oh my gosh, I'm a horse, I'm an ox, I'm a dragon, yay. Which I feel like is about as far as a lot of Westerners get, and that's probably why the girl in the video felt the way that she did.
Exactly. The internet is free. The libraries are free. Spend an hour. Actually learn something, and you'll be surprised by what knowledge you obtain from it. That being said, I think that's a great segue into Astrology Almanac.
Today, the moon in Aries will sextile Pluto in Aquarius, which helps you to take control of a situation and feel productive about getting work done. Tomorrow, the sun will enter Cancer, marking the beginning of Cancer season. This is a great time to focus on your emotional needs And with Mercury and Jupiter also in the sign, you are able to articulate your emotions effectively. This helps you to find strength and support in your home and work life to complete projects you feel passionate about throughout every aspect of your life. Then on the 25th, we have a Cancer new moon, which will help you to feel energized in your emotional endeavors. You are able to take action on projects based on how you are feeling and can find yourself improving your home life and interpersonal connections over the course of the next moon cycle.
Love that. Let's get right into tarot time.
All right, let's see what the collective needs to hear today. Every time.
We are 0 for 3 right now with cards
All
dropping on the
right.
floor.
We got the Fool. New beginnings. Take a leap of faith. We love a new beginning. We love a fresh start. It's Cancer season. There's going to be four planets in the sign of Cancer during the week following this episode being out. So, Mercury, Jupiter, the Sun, and the Moon will also be in Cancer for part of it. It's a great time to go on a new journey to really just kind of focus on what is emotionally feeding you, what makes you feel connected to people, what is truly bringing you happiness and joy, and what is wearing you down. I think that having a chance to have a new beginning with a new moon is always a good sign. New moons are historically known for being the energy that you need to push into your new future, your new, cycle for the next month. So I really think that this is nice energy with the new moon and having so many signs or so many planets rather in the sign of Cancer.
Love that. That sounds like a good time for all of us. And summer is coming. I mean, by the time this episode releases, we will be in summer. So, yeah, summer is just a great time to just be your best self, honestly. So, here for it. That being said, thank you for tuning in for another episode of Sister Sister. If you guys are interested in everything we talked about today, you can click the links underneath in the description box and, educate yourselves. Education is power, so it's something we believe in very strongly. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Be sure to subscribe, follow all the things, like, comment, all of it. Just do it. It's so easy.
Press some
Um,
buttons.
just press a button, make our day. Thank you guys. Tune in next time.
Bye.